Good old reliable email. It's been around about as long as the internet, definitely as long as you young bucks have been online, and despite what you may have heard, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. In this video, I'm going to explain why email should be an important part of your e-commerce strategy, and then I'm going to give you some tips to get it there. Pull yourself up a chair and let's talk about it. My name is TJ Gamble, and I'm an e-commerceaholic. I'm also the founder and CEO of Jamerson, an agency that's dedicated to helping you get more from your e-commerce store. If you're new around here and you're trying to get your e-commerce master's degree from the School of Hard Knocks, then consider hitting that subscribe button because class is in session. Today's lecture is about building an email list. Email. It just sounds so old-fashioned. Does anybody really like email? I don't. It's a necessary evil for me. Just something that's required to do business. If someday I'm ever lucky enough to be sitting on a pile of cash, you won't be able to reach me via email, that's for sure. And that's probably why I'm approaching like 3,000 unread emails. Like every once in a while, I just give up and mark them all as read. Hopefully, I read all the important ones. Even though jackasses like me probably aren't reading your bulk emails, it's still an important part of your e-commerce arsenal. It's important because it's what we call an owned channel. And what I mean by that is, it's yours. You aren't renting it. For example, your social media accounts aren't yours. You never really know. Those platforms could get banned next week with an executive order if a bunch of their users decide to mess with the attendance at a Trump rally. That kind of stuff, although unlikely, apparently actually happens. More likely though, they'll lose their user base or change the rules for you getting traffic from the platform. Paid ads may be working for you now, but the more competitors bid on those clicks, the more it's going to cost you. At some point, that traffic is no longer profitable. Getting traffic to your website is an ever-evolving game. And that's why owned channels are important. People will come and go from that channel, and it probably won't be the biggest volume of traffic generation that you have. However, even if it converts like hot garbage, it can be extremely profitable because it costs very little to advertise via those channels, and there's not one entity that can take it away from you. It's a safety net of sorts if all hell breaks loose on your other channels. With that in mind, growing your email list can't be an afterthought. No, you need to be active in fostering this community. Obviously, there are two sides to this strategy: encouraging signups and then building a community that wants to engage with you and convert. Let's start by talking about building the list, and then we'll touch on mining it for dollars. Now, I know it's going to be tempting to buy an email list to jumpstart things. Don't be that asshole. These people didn't willingly sign up for your newsletter. No matter how you justify it to yourself, it's spam. Because these folks don't know who you are, they're much less likely to buy from you. You can't trust the quality of the list, and you might actually be breaking anti-spam law. In some cases, buying an email list can actually ruin your sender reputation, so you'll have issues getting into people's inboxes later when you actually decide to do it the right way. My spam folder is full of edgy senders. It's just not worth the money. Instead, develop a strategy to build a list of people who actually know who you are and might want to hear from you. So let's start with the easy part. It makes sense just to mine your existing customers. When someone buys from you or creates an account, give them a chance to opt in to receive your emails. Give them some idea as to the stuff you send so they have a clue what they're actually getting themselves into. I know you're probably just going to add all of your existing customers to your newsletter without even prompting them about it. It happens to me a lot every time I order something online. I hate those emails the most. I really do. It's a crappy way to grow a list, but it probably works. I won't chastise you too much, but I am going to curse you in private when I get that first email. Content is king for a reason. If you aren't producing content, you're really missing an opportunity, and I think creating content is going to be required for e-commerce brands in the future, but we'll discuss that more in a different video. If you have a blog or other content strategy, just make sure you're integrating that with your email strategy and actively inviting those viewers to join. Voluntary subscribers are incredibly valuable. Much more so than those hostages you subscribed when you bought that list or imported your entire customer base. And the next way to add subscribers is something that I don't want to bring up because I just absolutely hate it, but it works, and it's those stupid pop-up boxes. They suck. but I can't argue with the results. So try those terrible pop-ups, but be smart about it. Don't pop it up on every page for the same user. Don't have it pop up during checkout. Like, that's just insane. Play around with the different triggers and timings and see what provides the best results without alienating your users. And when you're testing, don't just measure the signups, or you may be getting a very skewed perception. Measure the drop-in conversions of each strategy versus not having the pop-up to have a more complete picture, because you may be forcing people into your newsletter and then those people aren't ordering because they get so damn irritated by your stupid pop-ups. Maybe. And whether you're doing it on those spammy pop-ups or otherwise, incentivize folks to join with a lead magnet. And this could be a coupon code or some other incentive, but motivation matters if you want a high success rate. If you do any in-person events like trade shows or pop-up shops, be sure to have a strategy to collect those email addresses in real life. I mean, you could do this with a raffle prize, a discount for signing up, or just by asking. You'd be surprised at how effective just asking is, especially in person. And now that you're collecting emails left and right, how are you supposed to handle them? I mean, it's not a bottomless well you can just keep going back to. The value you can extract from your email list is directly proportional to the value you provide to it. It's best to think of your email list as a community you're trying to build rather than a hole you just keep throwing promotional content down. If your business is centered around a particular theme, then try making your content about that theme and providing valuable content to that market. Make the promotional content secondary or occasional. And not only does that build a relationship with your audience that you can leverage for sales, but it gives you a chance to promote and build your newsletter outside of people who have already interacted with you on a business level. And that means new potential customers. This all comes back to providing value. I mean, nobody is going to open your emails if it's all about what you want. You have to give them something that they want, you selfish son of a... So what do they want? Well, depends on your business. If you're selling running shoes, then you probably want to build a community around running. If you're already marketing to these people, you should know something about them. Understand what they want, and then have a strategy to provide content around that. It could be educational, informative, or just entertaining. As I mentioned before, we're going to get into this more in future videos, but the bottom line is that every single business needs to get good at producing content. Good content opens up so many marketing opportunities and is the key ingredient in just about every strategy that works, including email. But what do I know? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do not let my opinion be the only one that's heard. Here are some videos that you'll probably enjoy. Go ahead and click on one of those because we're all done over here. If you enjoy these videos, then consider subscribing, hitting that notification bell, and liking this video to trigger that algorithm for me. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.